cover in the war against corruption.
President Muhammadu Buhari receives Ayo Salami Judicial Commission of Inquiry report on suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, reiterates commitment to the fight against corruption.
Part of our agenda in the next Senate is to cut costs of governance.
Senate Committee on Appropriations set to consider high cost of governance in 2021 budget reports. Plus, 9 missing police officers abducted by suspected bandits regain freedom as Inspector General of Police promises improved security on the highways. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News at 9. I'm Elizabeth Stover and we're live from Abuja. Adiola Akome Akere will be reading from Lagos. President Muhammadu Buhari says his administration has so far kept the faith with his promise of fighting corruption and will remain committed until Nigeria triumphs over evil, attains a prosperous economic status and surmounts prevailing challenges of security. This was while receiving the report of the Ayo Salami Judicial Commission of Inquiry that investigated the suspended acting chairman of the EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, for alleged abuse of office and mismanagement of recovered assets. State House correspondent Adam Sambo reports.
The report submitted by the chairman of the Judicial Commission, Justice Ayo Salami, is a product of thorough scrutiny of 103 exhibits, oral testimonies of over 100 witnesses, as well as a nationwide physical verification of recovered forfeited assets. Justice Salami, who expressed the hope that the report will be found useful by government, described as appropriate and timely the recent presidential initiative to dispose all forfeited assets due to deteriorating condition.
Permit me to say that 4 successive chairmen of the EFCC from inception have been drawn from the police. Therefore, in appointing a new chairman of EFCC, consideration should be given to candidates from other law enforcement or security agencies and core staff of the EFCC as provided in the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Establishment Act 2004.
At the moment, he said 970 policemen are on secondment in the EFCC, and therefore an exit plan for their disengagement should be considered within 2 years from now towards addressing the issue of no promotion of the core EFCC staff for over 9 years.
Our thinking here is that whoever you are appointing other than a core EFCC staff should be in transitional capacity of 2 years, during which period arrangement could be made for appointment of any of the core EFCC staff who had proven themselves.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who thanked members of the commission for their dedication and commitment, promised to ensure that their findings and recommendations will be thoroughly studied for immediate implementation. This, the president said, will not only help in strengthening the fight against corruption, but also send the right signals to every Nigerian across the world that the government is resolved to ending the menace.
We recognize that there are more grounds to cover in the war against corruption, and we are prepared to go out to possess those lands by cutting off any stream that nourishes the seed of corruption and supports its growth. Let it be known that in the fight against corruption, no one is too big to tackle, as no individual is bigger than the Nigerian state.
The fight against corruption, President Buhari said, is one that must be fought without fear or favor if Nigeria is to realize her full potentials and achieve enduring peace and security.
Corruption is present in all countries. Some governments treat it with levity. Some fight it all the time. I want Nigeria to be counted among those countries who do not tolerate but fight corruption. I call on all stakeholders indeed every Nigerian, to own the fight against corruption at their respective levels.
The Ayo Salami Commission, which commenced sitting on the 6th of July, probed EFCC and its finances from 2015 to 2020, and its recommendations suggested, amongst others, administrative or judicial measures to be taken to recover misappropriated funds and assets. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In another development, President Muhammadu Buhari has described the defection of Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State into the APC as not only a good omen for the governing party, but a stabilizing factor to the nation's political landscape. The president stated this while formally receiving the governor at his official residence. Here again is Adamu Sambo with the details.
Governor Dave Umahi of Ebonyi State was accompanied to the State House by a delegation of the Caretaker and Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee of the APC, led by the chairman and governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni.
Well, you better get it correct.
This is coming less than 24 hours after Governor Umahi, who is the chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum, was formally welcomed into the APC family at a grand occasion in Abakaliki, attended by governors and other critical stakeholders of the party. He is here to formally affirm his allegiance, loyalty and support to President Muhammadu Buhari, leader of the governing party and indeed the federal government. Speaking to NTA News after their closed-door engagement that lasted 45 minutes, President Buhari described the evening as one of his best in the seat of government.
I admired his courage. I told him it's an environment that has been thoroughly combated to PDP. For him to come out and join us now is a great thing for the party. The party has been very lucky to have him. And it's stabilizing the national politics, for a governor from the southeast, to come back and join APC at this stage. Already you, the press, are speculating that he wants to be president. What's wrong with that?
For Governor Dave Umahi, with the tremendous benefits derived by Ebonyi State from the APC-led federal government, joining the party is the least he can do to show appreciation.
There is every reason for every person from Southeast to re-examine, my purpose of leaving the PDP, and know that the people of Southeast will have no place in PDP. If you come to my state, you will see quite a lot of development. And these developments were not done with the FAC allocation. They were done by special intervention of Mr. President. I can boldly say that under Mr. President, I have developed Ebonyi State. So if I've been at the periphery and I got all this development for my people, I said, look, we have to play at the center. And moreover, it is important that the people of Southeast should, for once, stop being in opposition.
Maybe some other zones are well placed and they can generate money locally. Our people have investment all over the country. Direct investment, not portfolio investment, direct investment. And we need to protect it. If Nigeria is strong, the Igbos will do better. The solidarity of Nigeria is very important to us. So we belong to the center. That's where our people have always been. We feel comfortable playing with the national politics.
The chairman, caretaker committee of the APC and governor of Yobe State, Mai Malabuni, is optimistic that the governing party will continue to get bolstered.
The entire APC family is very happy because our priority as a party is peace, unity, progress, and national development under the able leadership of our president and leader, President Muhammadu Buhari. And we are rebuilding our party. Many more are joining. Many more are coming.
We are quite excited that the vision of our party leader, President Muhammadu Buhari, the vision of the foundation fathers who brought APC together to be a party for all Nigerians is coming back strong.
It is not just one more governor joining us. This is one performing governor, one governor who has given an excellent account of himself in terms of bringing development to his state.
APC now controls 20 out of the 36 states of the Federation. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the same vein, the Progressives Governors Forum has welcomed Dave Umahi, Governor of Ebonyi State, to the All Progressives Congress, describing his action as a testament to APC's capacity to mobilize all Nigerians. In a statement, Chairman of the APC Governors Forum, Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu of Kebbi State, says the vision of the founding fathers of APC is to serve as a platform to unite all Nigerians under a progressive umbrella. The statement adds that with Governor Umahi now in APC, the vision is further reinforced and shall contribute to the process of membership and leadership recruitment at all levels. The Progressives Governors Forum has also commended the leader of the party, President Muhammadu Buhari, and Chairman Caretaker Committee, Governor Maimala Buni, and reaffirmed the commitment of the governors to support and build APC as a strong and democratic political party in the country. Following Wednesday's approval by the Federal Executive Council, the 2020 finance bill that seeks to provide more tax incentives for Nigerian businesses and individuals has been formally presented to state governors under the aegis of the National Economic Council at a meeting presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
Some highlights of the proposed finance bill, which is now headed to the National Assembly, include reduction in duties on tractors, motor vehicles for the transportation of goods and persons. These also include exemption of small companies from payment of education tax. Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Clem Agba, made the presentation at the virtual NEC meeting for the month of November 2020. A committee chaired by the Vice President for NEC to engage with youths and other critical stakeholders in addressing the deeper roots of the NSAS protests was formed at the last meeting of NEC. Members of the committee are governors drawn from the 6 geopolitical zones in the country. Council at its meeting resolved that the planned zonal engagements should proceed with the focus on youths and civil society organizations, dealing especially with issues of jobs and employment. Similarly, the state-level interactions should proceed in places where this has not been reported. On current trend in food prices and the need for urgent remedial measures, Council received a presentation showing that the hike in prices is due to the delay in harvesting as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and SARS protests, which stalled food transportation and delivery, and banditry, as well as farmers-herders conflict. States and the federal government were urged to adopt urgent measures, including social protection schemes, to deal with the situation. The federal government is also to pursue the implementation of its Agric plan under the Economic Sustainability Plan and others to positively improve the situation in the sector. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Nigerians in diaspora had their 3rd annual investment summit virtually in Abuja. The summit is targeting COVID-19 economic resurgence and to boost the economy to provide job opportunities in a wide range of sectors. Suleiman Tobu Abdul Wahab reports.
The Vice President, who participated virtually, described the summit as one that will reshape the nation's economy in almost all sectors. He attributed the hike in price of food items to COVID-19 and flood experienced in some part of the country.
Government to make things easier for those who are doing business, and of course to generally encourage ease of doing business around the country. One of the critical things you probably noticed is that food prices have gone up. So we're also looking very critically at how to deal with how to remove those bottlenecks and deal with some of those problems, and at the same time ramp up food production.
Chairman, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, Abike Dabire Erewa, emphasized that Nigerians in diaspora are resolute in bringing about a renaissance in areas like health, education, agriculture, and other aspects of the economy.
We want you to get involved in investments by setting up the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund. A committee has been put in place to work out the modalities. So they will soon give us their report and we'll work to set up the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund.
The interface between NITCOM and Nigerians in diaspora holds on a regular basis. From Abuja, Suleiman Tab Abdulhab, NTA News.
The Senate Committee on Appropriations has received 8 more 2021 budget reports from standing committees. It said cutting cost of governance will be a major point in considering the reports. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
It is the third day of submission of 2021 budget defense reports to the Senate Committee on Appropriations. The Senate Committees on National Planning, Public Accounts, Federal Character and Police Affairs were in the first batch for the day. The committee chairman had something in common, and that is the request for increased allocation, especially to the overheads.
I'm urging on this committee to see how or to find ways or means of adding to the overhead of the police formations.
Chairman, Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Jibrin Barau, responded.
Any committee can bring its request, then it's left for us, based on the resources available, based on the understanding, based on the principles, based on the agenda of the National Assembly, which, of course, part of our agenda in the National is to cut costs of governance.
The Appropriations Committee reiterates its resolve to ensure that no fund meant for projects will remain dormant. At the moment, more than 20 standing committees have submitted their reports. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has warmly sent his regards to pioneer chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Nuhu Ribadu, on his 60th birthday. In a statement, President Buhari joins family and friends to celebrate the milestone marked with years of diligence and service to the nation. He said Nuhu Ribadu also served as chairman of Petroleum Revenue Task Force and commended his sacrifices and dedication to the country, particularly in pursuing probity, advocating good governance, and promoting democratic values. President Buhari believes his determination to see Nigeria reach greater heights through counseling and mentoring of young leaders deserves commendation, while urging him to remain steadfast on a disciplined and focused life. This is NTA Network News. We'll now take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. The federal government has shifted grounds on the lingering strike by university lecturers. It is offering a cumulative sum of 65 billion naira for the revitalization of universities and earned academic allowances to all the unions in the public universities. The agreement for the additional 15 billion is against the initial 50 billion naira, which was reached at a meeting held in Abuja between the representatives of the federal government and the representatives of the striking academic staff union of universities, ASU. Government also agreed on mode of payment for withheld salaries.
Issue of revitalization getting 30 billion and end allowances getting 35 billion. So the offer has been made. It's in this document. Office of the Accountant General of the Federation and the University, NUC, and the Vice Chancellors are to work together to make sure that the withheld salaries, when approved, is paid through the old method, the old platform that were not captured on IPs for the months of February, March, April, May, June.
Government has given us some new offers, and we have promised government that will present faithfully to our members.
The agreement for correspondent Emmanuel Yimiro reports that ASU is to take the offer to its members and return to government next week. Meanwhile, the Law Students Association of Nigeria has filed a suit against the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, challenging the perennial strike often embarked by the ASU, which has paralyzed the country's educational system. The suit was filed on Friday at the Federal High Court. The association is seeking an order to compel ASU to return to the classroom and another perpetual injunction to restrain ASU from further strike. The president of the association, Blessing Agbomere, is also asking the court to compel ASU to pay 10 billion naira compensation to Nigerian students for infringing on their rights to education as guaranteed by Section 18 of the 1999 Constitution and Article 17 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights.
The same lecturer will be a consultant in another oil company, and as a result of that, they want to be paying themselves, they want the schools to be paying them, and not federal government to be paying them. Because if federal government is paying them, federal government will discover that they are lecturing in different universities.
The association is further asking the court to order ASU to pay damages to all Nigerian students for the psychological and emotional torture meted out to them, as well as the loss of valuable time following the continuous strike. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chimuba reports that ASU has been on strike since March 2020. And the lingering crisis over the joint ownership of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, has been resolved by the National Universities Commission. Olayinka Ojo reports that the battle for the soul of the university between Oyo and Osun states lingered for about 3 decades.
Akintola University of Technology, also known as LAUTECH, is rated as one of Nigeria's promising universities of technology with the potential for greatness. This has been hampered by a marriage compounded by governance and management challenges, leading to irregular payments of salaries. A 10-year intervention process has finally yielded results, leading to the dissolution of the marriage between Oyo and Osun states over the ownership of LAUTECH.
The mutually agreed dissolution was formalized through the signing of a memorandum of agreement by the executive governors of Oyo and Osun states and witnessed by the attorneys general, giving legal effect to the transfer of ownership of Ladoke Akintola University LAUTECH to the government of Oyo State and the College of Health Sciences Oshogbo to the government of Osun State.
The NUC, being parents of both couple, promised to ensure faithful implementation of the terms of agreement and get LAUTECH back on track. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
The Judicial Panel of Inquiry and Restitution for Victims of Police Brutality and Other Related Crimes, sitting in Lagos, has sounded a note of warning to counsels of respondents to desist from applying for adjournments, thereby delaying proceedings. Justice Doris Okwobi voiced the panel's displeasure while reacting to frequent applications for adjustment by counsels.
During the cross-examination of Unduku Ekwekwe, a businessman who was allegedly brutalized by personnel of the Nigeria police, which confined him to a wheelchair, counsel to the respondent questioned Mr. Unduku about the identity of the men who arrested him. After further examination, counsel to the respondent applied for a 20-minute break. Counsel to the respondent then asked for another adjournment to enable him invite a particular witness whom he considers vital to the case. Justice Okuobi, based on merit, granted the application. In another development, the case involving Olajide Fowotade and the Nigeria police could not be heard because counsel to the respondent could not provide the policemen mentioned in the complainant's plea. Counsel again applied for an adjournment to enable him source for the witnesses.
I will allow an adjournment today in the interest of justice and fair hearing. The panel will not grant any further indulgence if due diligence is not shown to have been employed.
Justice Doris Okuobi, however, adjourned the two cases till 1st December 2020 for further hearing. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
In pursuance of its mandate to lift the most vulnerable in the society out of poverty, the federal government has commenced disbursement of 20,000 naira conditional cash support to rural women in Ebonyi State. NECA Oko reports that the exercise was flagged off by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, in Abakaliki.
1,600 rural women of the state are to benefit from the program.
I go carry this money, I go put them on any business. I don't know that God is going to remember me today because I didn't expect such money in my hand. I promise that I will utilize the money.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Hajia Sadia Omar Farouk, while flagging off the program, said the conditional cash support is in addition to several other intervention programs of the federal government.
The government has paid more attention to protecting the plight of the poor and vulnerable groups in our country. And this informed the decision to initiate the National Social Investment Program in the country.
Deputy Governor of Ebonyi State, Dr. Kelechi Weh, said supporting the women would translate to supporting the family.
We are thankful to you for this excellent idea that came from your desk.
Now, over 3,000 women in Ekiti State have benefited from the distribution of baby kits, a gesture of the Future Assured program of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. The program is in collaboration with wife of Ekiti State Governor, BC Fayemi. Kola Adebobui reports.
Expressing our commitment to addressing the status of women, youth and children, the Future Assured initiative of wife of the President, Aisha Buhari, observed the situation in the country with health conditions of women and children and advocacy towards improving their well-being. Special Advisor to the President on Special Duties, Office of the First Lady, Mrs. Rose Audu, said items distributed at various hospitals and primary health centers in Adogiti, which comprises hand sanitizers, liquid soaps, baby cream, women fabrics, blankets, were aimed at complementing government's efforts in providing healthcare services.
She advocates for the welfare of women and children, and she does that through intervention in health, education and empowerment.
The wife of the State Governor, Erelubisi Fayemi, who commended the wife of the President for the kind gesture.
We are very grateful for her support because we know that she's very passionate about the well-being of women and children in Nigeria.
We see this thing as a privilege from Mrs. Buhari for the gift that brought for us in Ekiti State.
Highlights of the program was offsetting of indigent patients' medical bills in tune of 1 million naira in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adebobui, NTA News.
With encouragement and opportunity, women are ready to contribute meaningfully in preferring solutions to the current challenges rocking the nation. This is the consensus of some award recipients who were honored during the 20th anniversary of the United Nations Security 1325 Security Women's Forum in Abuja. Monso Damien Ati reports.
Female soldiers, air women, those from the Navy, police, immigration, all converge in Abuja to deliberate on security matters as it affects them.
Women are doing exceptionally well as far as security is concerned. So this is what we should leverage on and do more so that we can attain national security.
After sessions of deliberations, the event took another dimension: recognition, appreciation, and award presentation to distinguished personalities who have been protecting and promoting gender-based issues and rights of women in their various fields of endeavor.
The compulsory treatment of rape victims.
In openly standing for women. Some state governors, ministers, security chiefs, as well as heads of parastatals and agencies, including the Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, went home with plaques of honor.
And when this issue of a pandemic, the pandemic came up, we decided that we have the responsibility to stand up and be counted. Hence, we decided to be the vanguard of the campaign against rape and rapists under the banner of Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists.
Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
Our security matters now. The Directorate of Defense Media Operations, DMO, says the air component of Operation Hadarindaji has neutralized 17 bandits and destroyed their camp in Dunya Forest area of Katsina State. DMO Coordinator Major General John Enenche says this was achieved through airstrikes executed following credible human intelligence reports and confirmatory surveillance missions indicating that dozens of Ansaru terrorist group-linked bandits had established a camp at the location, which also housed scores of rustled cattle. Nigerian Air Force fighter platforms engaged the location, destroying portions of the camp, including their storage facility, which was seen engulfed in flames. Human intelligence sources later confirmed that no fewer than 17 bandits were neutralized and several others injured. And the Nigeria Police Force has successfully rescued 9 police officers abducted by suspected bandits. A statement by the force indicates that the officers were on their way to Gusau in Zamfara State from Maiduguri at the time of the incident. The force explained that 2 of the officers are currently receiving medical attention in a hospital, while the remaining 7 are being debriefed as investigation continues. The Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Adamu, is assuring Nigerians that the force will continue to work to ensure an improved safety and tactical presence of police personnel on the highways as the tide approaches. The Department of State Services has explained that the personnel attached to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who allegedly shot one Ifeanyi Okereke, has been taken into detention. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the service, Dr. Peter Afunanya, revealed that the service has opened a detailed investigation into the matter. While it pledges to be transparent in handling this, the service is liaising with appropriate authorities to unravel the circumstances that led to the shooting. You're watching NTA Network News. Time now to join Adiola in Lagos for more reports. It's over to you, Adiola.
Elizabeth. The 81 Division of the Nigerian Army brought together security experts in Lagos for an interactive session on how to address recurring security threats in the country. The event was at a workshop which serves as a prelude to Operation Crocodile Smile 6, an exercise to tackle the issue of cybercrime. The 2-day workshop with the theme Cyber Attack as an Emerging Security Threat in Nigeria, the role of armed forces and security agencies, the GOC 81 Division says is apt, taking into cognizance the rising security challenges in the country. He reiterated that sustaining professionalism and responsiveness remains the driving concept with regards to operations and training, the need to harness the competences of other security agencies to ensure national security.
It is therefore imperative that we use this opportunity to brainstorm on the likely eventualities that may constrain security stakeholders in the coming months so as to evolve workable solutions.
Cyber warfare and internal security operations in Nigeria, as well as inter-agency collaboration in internal security, were some of the topics dissected. With the world increasingly becoming a global village through innovation, discussants called for the enlightenment of the public on the proper use of social media.
To have verified influencers, Twitter influencers, so that those people should be held accountable.
The workshop, which is a precursor to Exercise Crocodile Smile 6, is designed to further strengthen the existing relationship among various security agencies operating within the jurisdiction of the 81 Division. A more comprehensive plan to address emergencies to reduce cases of casualties and loss of property has been emphasized by key players at a summit organized by the Emergency Crisis and Disaster Risk Management Institute. Amaka Owo reports that the Director General of the NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, was conferred an honorary fellowship award at the event.
When disaster strikes, it is often said that the time to prepare has passed. Get prepared, emergencies can happen anytime. Theme of this gathering aims to reawaken and enhance emergency preparedness. It seeks to sensitize Nigerians on how to acquire skills to help save lives.
A nation that fails to prepare for unexpected will not have the capacity to respond swiftly within the time record.
It's only wise that you have a good surveillance system that detects that is in the epidemiological something in the health.
Keynote speaker, a professor of crisis and disaster management from University of Bournemouth, United Kingdom, Professor Lee Mars, presented solutions to handling emergencies in a multi-hazardous complex environment. The Executive Director, Administration and Training, Nigerian Television Authority, Steve Ebu, who represented the Director General of the NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, urged the media to set the agenda for tackling crisis.
We must begin to think strategically, to think for tomorrow, for the generations unborn, so that the problems we can solve today need not wait for them to come and solve it.
Special recognition was given to the Director General of the NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, who bagged an honorary fellowship award for his outstanding contributions to the Institute. The award was received by Steve Ebu, the Executive Director, Administration and Training, who was also honored a fellow alongside other individuals and organizations. The second annual Emergency Preparedness Summit had NEMA enlighten attendees on rescue operations during accident situations. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. Another break beckons. The news will continue thereafter. To stay with us.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. The National Leadership of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria has urged its members nationwide to abide by traffic rules and observe best safety practices during and after the 2020 Yuletide period. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that the national president of the association, Musa Mohammed Takobi, said this at the inauguration of the leadership of Ondo and Oyo state chapters of the association.
Carry out and discharge all duties.
The oath of office validates the tenure of the newly inaugurated officials from Ondo and Oyo chapters of the association for a period of 5 years, which can be renewed through an election. National President, Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, Musa Mohammed Takobi, charged the state officers to be guided by constitutional provision and other safety guidelines. He appealed to national and state leadership of the association to be cautious of their actions on the road during the Yuletide and avoid abuse of traffic regulations.
I directed all the state chairmen throughout the nation to commence a seminar to all the drivers that they should know the period we are. For that reason, taking anything alcoholic or drugs or sleeping, they should avoid all those things.
Chairman Oyo State Chapter, Comrade Kamarudin Idowu, says he will effectively collaborate with his Ondo counterpart to take the association to a greater height. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
To address power deficit in rural communities, the federal government, through Rural Electrification Agency, has undertaken the installation of grid extension and solar home system to meet the energy needs of the rural populace for socio-economic growth. Shehu Adamu reports that 2 projects were inaugurated at Onguwar Dutse town and Bombami village in Malumfashi and Batagarawa local government areas of Katsina State.
rural electrification projects inaugurated in Katsina include grid extension, electrification and installation of 33 kV transformer at Ungwarduza town, as well as installation of 30 kilowatt solar mini grid at Bombami village, which was made possible through public-private partnership.
We are happy with the project as it will go a long way in boosting our businesses and the living condition.
This is the first time our community is benefiting from such project. So to us, it's historic.
In a message, Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari said his administration has purchased and distributed 333 kV transformers to rural communities in the state and commended federal government for complementing its effort in that direction. Represented by the Special Advisor on Power and Energy, Governor Aminu Bello Masari assured Katsina State government's continued readiness to provide the needed support for the implementation of federal projects in the state.
This is a giant stride by Rural Electrification Agency to electrify rural communities. I think this is a good job.
Managing Director, Rural Electrification Agency Ahmed Salihijo Ahmed said it is the responsibility of the agency as mandated by the federal government to continue to execute such projects to meet the energy needs of the rural Nigerians.
This is a very important project for a community like this, and they should be able to put this electricity to productive use.
The Rural Electrification Agency is currently implementing Rural Electrification Fund, Nigeria Electrification Project, Energizing Education Program, Grid Extension, Energizing Economic Initiative and Energy Database. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
The Wasimi International Airport, under construction in Ewikoro local government area of Ogun State, has received federal reawakening with an assessment visit by Presidential Assessment Team to the project site. Lekon Agbonde reports that the immediate past governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, accompanied the team on tour of the project site.
Yes, after its conceptualization, the Wasimi International Airport project in Ogun State is soon becoming a reality. And this explains the excitement on the faces of these indigenes. Senator Ibikunle Amosun, representing Ogun Central Senatorial District, who is ever passionate about this project, appreciated President Muhammadu Buhari for sending the team.
No, I'm just happy, and we really can't thank Mr. President enough for sending them. But we had that they are here on the Mr. President directive. So all I can say is just show appreciation to Mr. President. I will pray that the project will quickly be completed.
The team, led by the Director, Department of Safety and Technical Policy, assured that the federal government will not abandon the project. The team is expected to submit its report to the Minister of Aviation for further action. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
We'll now take our last break. We'll be back in just a moment. Community Policing Awareness Polo Tournament continues in Abuja as the Premier League is back on NTA. Details with Badi Adele on Sports Update.
The maiden Community Policing Awareness Polo Tournament galloped off Thursday at the Girls Polo Brigade Club Abuja, with AA&R Investment beating Kasiva 5-2. Toyin Investment lost 3-7 to Solid Unit Nigeria, while Malcolm Mines beat Dokaji Farms by 9-4.
We feel it's necessary that we get the police and the community together through this kind of event so that we will enlighten the public more.
Meanwhile, the Nigeria Athletics Commission has charged the country's representatives in the Olympic movement to be mindful of Rule 50, which bars them from any kind of demonstration of political, religious, or racial propaganda in any Olympic sites. This came to the fore at the just-ended two-day forum for career development and transition of athletes beyond the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
The sacrosanct nature of Rule 50 still exists, but the athletes can express some form of protest.
22 male and female table tennis players based in the country are competing in the maiden edition of Abuja Invitational Tournament, ongoing at the Table Tennis Club, Gwarimpa area of the FCT, with the aim of turning the center to a hub where future stars will be discovered and nurtured.
We want to bring them together, they will blend, and then we'll develop their talents as well.
To football, the Premier League makes its return this weekend after the conclusion of the international break, with Chelsea having the chance to temporarily move top of the table when they face Newcastle at St. James's Park on Saturday in a match that will be live on NTA from 1 in the afternoon. In other fixtures, Tottenham take on Manchester City also on Saturday, with the match between Leeds United and Arsenal to be followed by the top-of-the-table clash between champions Liverpool and Leicester City. With sports update, Badi Adeleye, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says he is saddened to learn of the passing of the first professor of veterinary medicine in northern Nigeria and a former chairman of Bida local government area of Niger State, Professor Shehu Bida. In a statement, the president extends heartfelt condolences to the family of Bida, the government and people of Niger State, the Etunupe and the academic community on the death of one of Nigeria's leading scholars in the field of sciences. President Buhari believes that Professor Bida's pioneering role in sparking the interest of many Nigerians in the field of veterinary medicine, impactful research publications, and tenacity for knowledge sharing helped in grooming many quality experts in the field at home and beyond. He prays Almighty Allah to forgive the shortcomings of the deceased and grant his family and friends the fortitude to bear the loss. And President Muhammadu Buhari extends sincere condolences to Senator Victor Ndoma Egba and members of his family on the sudden and tragic death of his wife, Mrs. Amaka Ndoma Egba. The president says his thoughts and prayers are with them in their period of grief. He prays divine comfort for the entire family of Ndoma Egba and peaceful repose of the soul of the departed. Let's now take a look at the weather picture across the country.
You're welcome. Sunny and hazy condition continues over the northern and central part of the country, while we expect less cloudiness over the inland with lots of sunshine. As for the coastal region, cloudy skies are anticipated during the morning hours. By afternoon into evening hours, we don't expect much weather activities over the coastal region, except for parts of Port Harcourt and Yenogua, where our indices shows possibilities of localized thunderstorms. While for the inland cities of the south, haziness should be expected over that region. And that's it for the weather forecast. Stay tuned for the temperature outlook. I remain Akami Samarda. Bye for now.
And that's NTA Network News. We thank you for watching. Good night.
Network News, Instagram at